Hey, what's up guys? Drew here over at Rev Hiker Outdoors, and welcome to another episode of Knife Thursday. So for this episode, I've got something kind of cool. I just wanted to share with you guys my story about Benchmade's customer service and what my experience was with LifeSharp. So I sent these two in, my 940 and my Contigo, for LifeSharp service. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, it's at RevHiker, you'll say, well, how did you send this in? I've been seeing pictures of it regularly. Well, if you guys follow the channel, you know that at some point I lost this knife and I found it and I immediately sent it into LifeSharp because it had some stuff going on with it. I had broken Omega springs, or one of them was broken, and had a little bit of play due to that because the lock wasn't locking up. So I sent it in, and this one, my Contigo, had, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Now, little trivia for you guys. If you remember the video where I talked about my favorite, the best EDC knife, I said that I lost that. Shortly after, I was contacted by someone. They gave me another 940. And then a couple months ago, I found this, and I didn't say anything about it because I wanted to send it into LifeSharp, get it all fixed up, so I could give it away. I don't need two 940s, and there was one guy on the channel who's been a long-time viewer, and he said, hey, that's really cool that someone gave you a new 940. He goes, and I think he was kind of joking, but he said, hey, if you ever find your old one, can I have it? And I said yes, and so I'm not going to be a liar about it. So I believe the name was DJ Rayner. So, man, send me an email at revhiker@yahoo.com or get at me on Instagram at revhiker, and I will make sure you get a 940 sent out to you. Now, I'm going to keep my original, but I'm sending you the new one that was given to me. So anyway, that had a broken Omega spring. This, I believe the liners were deformed, and so I sent it in. Now, it was deformed because of my actions. I actually batoned through some roughly 3-inch thick seasoned hardwood firewood at one point at a youth camp I was at, and I just absolutely smashed on this thing. And I'm pretty sure after batoning about 10 to 12 pieces of those of that seasoned hardwood, I think it deformed the liners a little bit where the axis lock makes contact. So I had a very small amount of up and down play, no side to side, or very little, and a little up and down rock. And so I said, you know what? I know it's my fault. I know I used the knife for something that it shouldn't have been used for, but let's see how good Benchmade's warranty really is. So that's what I did. I sent it in. Now, I sent it in, and they quote on their website about 5 weeks. Mine took about 6, but I think part of that is because I sent them in around Blade Show time, and there was just a lot, or SHOT Show. Yeah, SHOT Show, sorry. And I think they had a lot going on there. I know they had their LifeSharp service going there, so maybe that delayed them a little bit, but 5 weeks is a quote. I've talked to a lot of people that said it took them 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of people say 4 or 5 weeks, and some people say 6. Mine happened to be right around 6 weeks. Now, when I got the knives back, they sent me shipping information and all that stuff, and they came in these little Benchmade boxes, not like the original ones, but I think they use these just for LifeSharp or whatever, but kind of nice. They were in a little baggie inside these boxes, and I got with them this paperwork that told me exactly what they replaced. So this one, which one is this for? This is for the 940. Okay, so they gave me, it just lists everything on here. The box, the sleeve, this is the hardware that they replaced. They replaced both Omega springs, and they did all the other stuff. Now, I specifically noted on there to please not sharpen the knives, because I sharpen them to a higher degree than any factory does. Okay, so I specifically put on the paperwork that I filled out, please do not sharpen, and they did not sharpen. They actually read my request, which is cool. So they cleaned, oiled, adjusted, replaced the springs, replaced all the hardware, and I mean all the hardware, the pivot and all the attaching screws, even the screws for the clip. So everything was redone on this knife. It's essentially brand new. Action was perfect. Centering is, well, you're not going to be able to see, but the centering is perfect on it. And I had the same experience with this. But on this, I don't know if they inspected the liners or whatever, but when you read this, it says that they actually replaced my clip because I had a little chunk taken out of it from pliers. So they replaced the clip on the Contigo. They replaced both the liners, they replaced the Omega springs, and all new hardware all the way around, and obviously the box and all that stuff. And this one I got back, centering isn't quite perfect. It's slightly favoring, I guess this would be my side, it's my clip side, but I'm left-handed, so if you're looking at the knife tip down, it would be the right side. It's slightly favoring the right side, but not much of anything. Action, nice and smooth. Obviously the Contigo with a nice heavy blade like this just whips open and shut nicely. But anyway, I just wanted to share my experience. I definitely abused this knife well beyond what it's intended for, and probably outside of what the warranty reasonably should cover. But they replaced the liners, didn't ask a single question. The 940 was taken care of perfectly. Nice smooth action on there. Overall, I was really happy with my experience with LifeSharp. So hope that kind of shed some light on Benchmade of all the years of owning them. And I think I've owned like 19 or 20 different Benchmades. I've never had to send them in for LifeSharp. This is the first time I used them. And I'm very happy with it. I never threw them in for LifeSharp because I just sharpened my own stuff. But I think, you know, I know people complain about the price of Benchmades, but I recently sharpened a guy's knife, and he said that he was retiring the blade, and it was just going to be a display piece, and that's why he wanted the mirror edge on it. And when I sharpened it for him, I noticed, I said, man, this blade is a lot smaller than it normally is. He goes, well, I've been sending it back to Benchmade for the last 20 years every time it gets dull. And he says he said he sent it in once or twice a year to be sharpened. And they've been doing that for free for the last 20 years. So when you buy a knife from Benchmade, you're not just buying a quality knife. You're buying the guarantee, you're buying the LifeSharp, you're buying all that service that comes with it. You're buying from a company that sources all their stuff in America, and they take care of it for as long as you'll send it in to them. They don't ask for serial numbers or proof of purchase. If it's a Benchmade and you send it in, they're going to fix it. If you send them in a counterfeit, they won't, because they can tell the difference. But, you know, if you send them a clone. But for me, I'm happy. They took care of me. They took care of the other guy. And so, for me, Benchmade gets 2 thumbs up for that. You know, I beat the tar out of it, and they took care of it, no questions asked. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching this episode of Knife Thursday. Stick around next week. I'm going to have a review on this blade, which recently acquired and much requested on the channel, the Bradford Guardian 3. So, catch you guys next time, and I'll see you next week for a review of this bad boy. God bless, as always. I messed that ending up. Sorry.